Hi, this is Ben from FixitGearWare Security, and today we are here with another episode of the Book Review Saturday series. In today's episode, which marks it the third episode since we started the Book Saturday series, we are introducing a powerful book that is very essential for anyone wanting to get started with bug bounty programs. So without wasting much of your time, let's get started. On today's book, we are introducing the Bug Bounty Playbook, version 1 by the author, Alex Thomas Aka Ghostlulz. What makes this book very interesting is the book is highly recommended for those who wish to get started with bug bounty. And the second point of what makes the Bug Bounty Playbook unique is that it outlines the unique structure and framework for those who wish to learn about bug bounty quickly. On the third point, the storytelling at the introduction of this book and each subsequent chapters adopted by Thomas is what makes this book special. It makes bug bounty feel exciting to learn. Like in every chapter of the book, the author explained why you should adopt each concept that was explained in that chapter. And for our own review, we believe this structure is what makes this book unique in the sense that while you're studying, you have the feel like you're inclusive. You're being carried along with whatever the author has in mind while writing that particular chapter of the book. The next point is that learning the basics as getting a VPS provider to test for remote code executions. The book also talks about setting up your own virtualization lab. Speaking of virtualization lab, if you want to know how to set up your own Kali Linux pen testing lab, check the description below. Also, additional information includes note-taking applications for references, how to structure your notes, choosing a bug bounty platform such as HackerOne, Bugcrowd, Integrity, and so on, and many other interesting information about this book. On the next point, other relevant information outlined by this book includes pre-game knowledge, such as using relevant platforms like Twitter, known as X, GitHub, CVE, and more to get proof of concepts. Immediately these are disclosed, and being the first person to test your targets to check for this working proof of concepts. On the best 3 points that makes up the Bug Bounty Playbook unique is it talks about the basic knowledge of different containers, buckets, and how to pen test them. Containers such as AWS were listed and every other forms of containers out there. We'll be describing in depth because we want you guys to read about this book and learn for yourself what this book talks about various containers. The second point is that it equips beginners with recon structure. So recognizance is very important. It's part of bug bounty hunting. If you don't know how to perform recons, how can you get your targets or entry points that you want to test your various vulnerabilities that you're expert on or you're very skilled in? Platforms such as Shodan and more were described in the recon phase or recon structure of this book. And the author went in depth by providing images and structure for each of these platforms explained. In addition, how to locate APIs for Dockers, Kubernetes, and more were also described in this book. So Thomas made it in such a way that most organizations, as we know, host their applications using containers, and these containers include Dockers and Kubernetes. And security misconfigurations can expose these containers to the public internet. So the author also dived into how to test commands, tools, and how to test for these containers that are exposed to the public and find a way to exploit sensitive information that are stored in these containers. And if you're fortunate enough to find these sensitive information, you can then report them as bugs. On the third point is that for every concept explained in this book, there are screenshot images to give a clearer understanding. The author took his time to not just explain each chapters, but for every concept, like for instance, using docking commands to search for exposed parts such as WordPress, Joomla, and any other CMS platforms out there. The author took his time to explain these commands on how to use them in search engines such as Google, Bing, and many other. But not just that, screenshots of these commands were also provided. So, for example, when searching for parts that are not properly secured on a web application, the command that the author used in executing and finding those parts were disclosed, and the screenshot of what actually was revealed was also displayed in the book. On rating this book is a perfect guide for those who want to get into bug bounty and learn quickly. So from us at FixitGearWare Security, we rate this book a 4.98 out of 5.0. It's an essential book for anyone who wants to get started with bug bounty. And not just bug bounty, but also helps you in understanding the concept of penetration testing. Not like it documents the steps of penetration testing, but these are basically the things you do if you're into penetration testing or testing for vulnerabilities in an infrastructure. So on general rants today, note while we take our time to review this book, our sole aim is to narrow down the confusion and information flooding commonly experienced by those who wish to get started with cybersecurity or still confused on how to go about laying a good structure and foundation. So it should therefore be your own decision and for your own best interest to take your time and read these books yourself and learn something new, different from our own perspective at FixitGearWare Security. And we hope this helps you on your career journey, not just as a bug bounty hunter, but also as a penetration tester. And what else? Okay, that's it. So we have come to an end of today's episode. Please do not forget to give the likes by pressing the thumbs up button, subscribe by tapping that subscribe button, while ensuring the notification bell is turned on to be the first to get notified when we post a new topic. Thanks for watching, and see you next week on another episode of Book Review Saturday series with FixitGearWare Security. Bye.